Merry Christmas, everyone. I'm JVL here with my best friend, Sarah Longwell. It's the first time we've ever gotten to enjoy a Christmas Eve miracle together, isn't it?
Is it? I mean, I feel like there's been times of jubilation. There's been times when bad things have happened to bad people. I feel
Mm-hmm.
like I feel like this is when Kevin McCarthy was going into his like 11th or 12th round of voting to become
Yes.
speaker, but like times 15. Like this is like
Times a
10x that.
trillion.
Yeah.
Times a trillion. So, I mean, everybody knows what's happened. Elon Musk and Donald Trump did basically the Anchorman fight in a speed run through the Anchorman fight where it started out with, it seems like it was 3 days ago. They were in the Oval Office and Elon had his mysterious black guy from the rough trade or whatever it was. And Trump was giving him a key and, welcome here anytime, best friend. And then we got a tweet from Elon. It was like, I don't like the bill. And then like another, and then all of a sudden we have Elon saying Trump should be impeached. We'll go through the whole timeline, but we went all the way to Trump should be impeached, Elon should be arrested and deported, and maybe we should nationalize his companies. And
It's
we did
exciting
that in
out there.
24 hours. 24 hours.
This is going to be a good show because I think we get to explore not just Elon and Musk, but their surrounding ecosystems. Because part of what's interesting right now is who's choosing sides, who's trying
Mm.
to stay in the middle, and who's trying to say that this is just two alpha men filled with testosterone, who are doing things that men do.
Two big bucks out there just mashing antlers. Just what dudes do. Yeah, like dudes who wear a lot of makeup and have artificial hair pieces, both of them, and neither of whom are in good shape or have ever done any sports. Like it's a weird definition of manliness. Like the rich guy who sits around playing video games all the time is the alpha, I guess. And
Is
the
he?
the
I
fat
don't
old
know.
man is also the other alpha. Again, we're a long way from John Wayne. Right. We're a long way from John Wayne putting his name on an airport because he doesn't want to cry about his paw. And
We're not dealing with some strong silent types here.
no, no. These are two very needy men.
Yes.
These are very, very needy, very thirsty men.
So wait, just to level set. So you're giddy right now. That's your feeling about this.
You know what? Let me start by bringing down the room. There is a universe in which all of this goes away by tomorrow morning.
It's true.
Now, you don't like this, Sarah. You don't like this, but let me just lay out the scenario. It is possible. There are a lot of people who are incentivized to make this stop because it is bad for their careers.
Yes.
They are going to do whatever they possibly can to get these two guys to stop swinging at each other. And you know what? Like both these guys live in alternate realities. We could wake up tomorrow morning and they could each have sent out one tweet saying, yeah, we talked on the phone. We're all good. This is just how, big burly men get along with one another. And by the way, all you shit libs who were triggered, ha ha, look at your liberal tears. That was all kayfabe. You wouldn't even know what that means because you don't watch real sports like wrestling. And then they just go their separate ways. That is a possible thing. And it's, like Don Draper, this never happened. You won't believe how much this never happened. That could be our reality in the morning, which is why we've got to live tonight. Honestly, this is why I said to Sarah, let's do this live tonight instead of the secret show tomorrow morning, because if we wake up tomorrow morning and this whole thing is over,
it'll be so sad.
Yeah. So, do you agree that is a possibility, or are you like, no,
So
these
I
guys have
agree.
crossed the Rubicon. You can't do this anymore. Elon did in fact say that Trump is a pedophile, or he alluded to Trump being a pedophile.
Right. So I guess
It's hard to take that back.
the question is, I like both things are true. They have both crossed the Rubicon, and the wild incentives for them to patch this up and walk it back. Like right now, everybody's trying to talk these two guys off of a ledge. I mean, even just take a Charlie Kirk, just a little Charlie Kirk, one little guy,
Mm.
one little corner of the ecosystem. Elon Musk unfollowed him today. Like
True.
the number of people who have built their followings by being in the ecosystems of these two men is legion. Like this is where the new right wing sort of echo chamber. It's not a media ecosystem, but it is a influential ecosystem. And so they want, like, Charlie Kirk is probably very sad tonight. Not Jason Miller, Stephen Miller,
Mm-hmm.
very sad to have Elon,
And follow too.
he unfollowed him, but and not before sending all his minions into his replies when
Yes.
Stephen tried to, defend the bill. And so I just think both are true. And it's like, will cooler heads prevail? And I don't know anything about ketamine. So I can't
Yeah.
tell if this is just Elon. This is mad Elon. This is how he behaves when he is angry. Or is he in a ketamine fueled rage? And he'll wake up at some point or come out of it and be like, oof, I don't want all my I mean, they are because the thing is it's not that they're trading barbs. I keep seeing news stories saying like feud spills over into public view. And I'm like, that is not
That's not
capturing
what
what
this
we're
is
talking
about.
about here. We are talking about the most powerful unelected bureaucrat to ever grace the White House, right? Who had his own department that had access to every American file and was able to look up all the business on his competitors and everything else. That guy is saying Trump should be impeached and is a pedophile. And on the other side, Trump is saying we're going to cancel all of his government contracts, which in a very I think in a good exercise for how flawed government has sort of approached Elon Musk, where he has this much power over the government space program, over international internet via Starlink. Like Elon has massive infrastructure type power, not to mention all the money in the world. And so they both have big cards to play against each other, and they both started pulling them out really fast.
Yeah.
We're talking about deporting Elon. Bannon's always hated Elon. And to be fair, Elon is, and this is sort of what's crazy, is when these two guys start surfacing the issues with each other, you're like, yeah, that's right. All of this is true. Trump was really good friends with Epstein. Trump was on Epstein's plane a bunch. Elon was somebody who came here illegally, overstayed his visa. Like he overstayed his visa and then tried to quiet his brother when his brother was telling the story. Like these are true things that people have just allowed to not become like cemented into the narrative.
So
But people are going to be reminded today.
this is such a wonderfully telling moment about what the new right is and what it has become, because Musk and Trump lie always about everybody. They make up crazy shit like the remember the cave. Elon calls like people pedophiles all the time with no sort of backing at all. No, just because he does. Trump is like, yeah, Joe Biden was a robot. That was actually an android cyborg, right? Stuff like here, the stuff they're saying about each other is true all of a sudden. Like, it's the first public fight I've ever seen in which Musk and Trump seem to be relying almost entirely on true things to attack their opponents with. But what's funny is that this should be an indictment of each of them, because so like if Elon knows that Trump is in the Epstein files and that is in fact true, then why was Elon his buddy 72 hours ago? If Trump thinks that there isn't any reason the government should have contracts with Elon Musk's businesses because it's a waste of time, why did he have government contracts with, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you look at this, you're like, I'm sorry, hold on. the things you're saying are true. And if they are true, why were you not saying them until, again, 72 hours ago?
I mean, I've seen this argument out there, and it's a funny one because it presumes that Elon has a moral center, where you say, like, well, Elon, if you knew he was a pedophile, why would you hang out with him? And then you're like, does Elon really care if he was on Epstein Island? And like,
Elon cares a lot about pedophilia. Pedophilia is one of the things Elon's always talking about. That's like, it's like the one moral crime Elon Musk is willing to, you can do a lot of things. Elon Musk
is
will
it a
let it
weird
slide.
thing he hurls at his political enemies
Yeah.
as a way, just because this has been the move ever since, I would say, January 6th. Uh, Republicans have kind of done, like, you know what's worse than staging a coup? A pedophile. So that's
Pedophilia is
where we'll
worse.
go. They're all pedophiles. And that just became the sort of standard slur to throw at someone. Here's the bigger thing that I don't understand is, let's say this. Okay, so let's say Elon's inside the government. Like, how does that conversation go? Does it go like Trump and Elon are just sitting around and Trump says to him, hey, those Epstein files, we're never going to release them because I'm all over them. Does Trump do that?
I don't know. I mean, you remember the story about this, that
Do I?
Elon was like, they were like having sleepovers all the
Oh, yeah. No, I
time at the
remember
White
that.
House. And Elon was like going down. Trump is calling him at midnight. Hey, you got to go downstairs to the kitchen, get some of that ice cream. They have this thing called Haagen-Dazs. It's brand new. It's the classiest, strongest ice cream ever. Nobody's ever had ice cream as good as this, right? It's like this 40-year-old brand that is now like a mid-tier brand. That's fine. And Elon's like, oh, I can't believe how good this stuff is. Have you ever tasted these Haagen-Dazs? And so I don't know how any of the relationships work. I do have to think, though, that Trump has always thought that Musk is a weirdo, right? Because Trump is
Yeah.
like whatever else he is. Like Trump knows how to like get along with people and slap backs and stuff. And Elon is not. Like Elon is not a normal person.
Right.
And so I suspect that Trump always thought, yeah, he's a weirdo. And the one, I think it was our buddy Mark Caputo reported this, that at the very end of things, when he was looking around the Doge stuff, Trump said to one of his one of his lackeys,
Is this all
"Was it all
bullshit?
bullshit? Is this all bullshit?" And I think Trump probably fell for the Elon bullshit because it was all bullshit. And I suspect that Trump, like any world class con man, absolutely resents anybody pulling one over on him, because that's what happened, right? Elon pulled one over on Trump. He gave Trump $287 million or whatever it was to help get him elected, and then he wanted a bunch of stuff in return, and Trump gave it to him. And Elon was going to make a bunch of money off of him. Trump doesn't like people making money off of him. I don't know. I could see Trump really digging his heels in and deciding I'm going to break Musk. Especially, and here's my big question for you: who do you like in this fight?
Yeah. So,
Because I got to say, I think Trump has almost all the cards. Trump is in an absolutely dominant position.
interesting.
And if Musk was a halfway rational actor, he would fold his hand tonight and just eat whatever shit sandwich he had to make this stop. The problem is, again, this is a guy whose entire personal life has been unraveling really, really fast for years, like in ways which are, again, I don't want to, this is a guy who has something wrong with him.
Yeah.
And in addition to clearly some form of alleged drug problem, substance problem, he spends all his time playing video games. He's got children all over the place by women who like hate him. I mean, again, he just isn't a rational actor. Like, this is not a guy who's sitting around doing balance of force calculations and trying to figure out, is this a fight I can win? And the other thing, and here I want to put this in front of you, and I want you to react to it. Elon, his view of the world is, look at all my money. My money makes me unstoppable because nobody can touch me. I can insult Joe Biden and Kamala Harris because what are they going to do? Because the assumption is Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are committed to liberalism and the rule of law and aren't going to use the federal government to go on a vendetta to destroy his companies. I don't think Elon really clocks that Trump will, or certainly could. Trump has no compunctions about that. Like Elon thinks that he's operating in the same world that he was operating for the previous 4 years, 5 years. And I just you haven't seen The Dark Knight Rises, but he is like John
Yes,
Daggett
I
with Bane.
have. Of course, I've seen it.
You think
I
you
just
think
don't
your
quote
money
it
gives
like
us
canon.
power. Do you feel in charge? I mean, that is kind of
Do you
what
feel in control?
do you feel in control? Yeah, look at you. Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
look at you. I never
Don't
loved
tell
you
me I
more.
don't.
So anyway, so that's why I think Trump is in an absolutely dominant position, and I want to hear what you think.
I think that's interesting. I don't have I try never to take a side between two horrible people.
Not
Because
taking a side. This is just I'm just like, who do you think will win, the shark or the alligator?
so let me give you the
This is not who I
Laura.
want to win.
Sure. Let me give you the Laura Loomer response. So Elon tweeted at Laura
I'm
Loomer
sorry.
today.
Hold on. Is Laura Loomer being the voice of reason again? Because
Uh,
I'm not sure I can take the world in which Laura Loomer is, for like the 10th time in 10 weeks, the most reasonable person in MAGA.
no, it's not. It's actually not about what she said. It's about what Elon said to her.
Okay.
And it was funny. He says to her, Trump's got 3.5 years left. I've got at least 40. And he just said very explicitly, I'm going to be around a long time. You're going to have to deal with me a lot longer than you're going to have to deal with him. And there's truth in that. Elon Musk, even today, I was thinking about how much more powerful X is than Truth Social. Like, so few people look at Truth Social that them looking to see how Trump was responding to Elon crashed Truth Social because it can't actually handle the traffic. And so I feel like Elon's clearly seen a lot. I mean, so I don't know if you saw this, but one of our producers put in the show notes or just now said breaking news that the Democrats on the House Oversight Committee are asking DOJ's Pam Bondi and FBI's Kash Patel to immediately clarify whether Musk's claims about Trump and the Epstein Files are true. Okay, so that's an Axios
Pam's
story.
going to get right on that.
Oh, I know. We'll see. We'll see what. Well, remember when Pam Bondi released the Epstein Files, and it was like these big binders of nothing. There was like nothing
Yeah.
in them. It was like
The
just
deep
white.
state got to her. She's a good woman. She's a patriot, but the deep state got to her, Sarah.
So there's a couple ways you could think about it. One is if you think about all the things that Elon does for the federal government, the amount that the federal government relies on him. So our space program and like a lot of internet. That will give people pause about Elon just taking his ball and going home. Now, can he do that or would he do that from a business standpoint? That I'm not sure, but he does have cards to play. Much like Zelensky, he does have some cards. Now, I think one of the things that Elon, when he had his pause in all of our data, we talked about this at the live show, the idea of that Kara Swisher had been floating about what he was doing was hoovering up all of our data for AI purposes. And maybe that's one thing he could have been doing. I think one thing he certainly was doing was trying to change a little bit here and a little bit here to ensure that Starlink had advantages and Tesla had advantages. I mean, I do think there's some merit to the idea that part of the souring of the relationship came around Trump cutting the EV, what are they called? Not
tax credits and
like the
chargers,
credits for the EVs. But I think the bigger thing Elon was doing was also looking up all kinds of information on his competitors. Like, I just think he's walked out now and knows a lot more now. I think some of the things that he's done could probably be undone. Like, I mean, Trump could immediately start de-Eloning all of the federal government as he's threatening to do, like cutting off his contracts. I mean, those are big moves. And
Yeah.
I hope they do all of them. So the question is, I think Elon's got longevity on his side. There's going to be a lot of people who won't want to cross Elon. Big platform, lots of money, lots of time left to play. Trump, he can mess with Elon's businesses in the short term, but I don't know. What could he do to Elon so he could cut off those contracts? But the thing is, when Trump threatened it, Elon immediately was like, I'm going to decommission these myself.
Yeah. So let me answer that because it's something I've actually spent a little bit of time thinking about. Um, First of all, Elon is a very soft target because his wealth is primarily tied up in Tesla stock. I don't think we have that slide. If we do, Katie, throw it in. But Bloomberg did a graph today where they plotted Tesla stock price against Elon's Trump tweets. And
Yeah.
just right. Elon made Tesla, the company, hostage to Donald Trump over the last year. I mean, this is, the old Michael Jordan thing when, Michael Jordan was asked in like the 90s, why don't you ever talk about politics? Yeah, there it is. Oh, look at that. Good God. Michael Jordan was asked, why don't you ever talk about politics? You're a Democrat. And he said, because Republicans buy sneakers too.
Right.
Elon just didn't care about that, right? And Elon was like, my customer base is 85% Democratic liberals. I'm just going to call them all pedophiles and communists, and I'm going to spend all this money. I'm going to become like basically a possibly alleged Nazi saluting, hand raising kind of guy who's obsessed with white genocide, wink, wink. And he destroyed Tesla as a consumer brand. I mean, we've seen the sales of Teslas across the world are down at the same time that EV sales are up, which is very hard to do. Trump could accelerate that. And because the Tesla share price has always been irrational, like
Right.
it has never, I mean, Tesla is worth more than every other automaker in the world put together, despite the fact they produce like this many cars. Trump could blow up the Tesla share price. I mean, that's before he even does anything like using government policy to target Teslas and to drive the business down, to help Tesla's competitors. And if the Tesla share price goes down, like Musk's wealth could go down by like 70%. The other store of his wealth is in the private market for SpaceX. So SpaceX is not a publicly traded company. You have to be in the private markets to buy stock in it. And Barry is going to get mad at me. I can hear you yelling, Barry. I have long believed that it is a tremendous mistake. Oh, wait, hold on. Carolyn Leavitt, just a few minutes ago on Fox. I'll read the tweet. Just days ago, Elon thanked the president for his incredible leadership to cut waste and fraud in our government, which this one big, beautiful bill does. The only difference between Friday and today is Elon went back to his companies, and as a businessman, he has a right to speak for his companies. But as a president, Trump has a responsibility to fight for this country. That sounds like a de-escalation, right? Of course, Elon's saying this. It's a businessman. It's not personal. It's business, right? Okay, let me get back to SpaceX. This is not a Trump problem. This is not a Biden problem. This is not an Obama problem. This is every American president for the last 12 years has foolishly privatized America's aerospace efforts. This is like prioritizing our nuclear weapons triad. You cannot do it. It is a dereliction of duty to allow America's vital national interests to be controlled by private corporations. And in the same way that the nuclear triad is a vital national interest that cannot be owned and operated by Amazon or Microsoft on a government contract, the position at the top of a gravity well, which is what space is a vital national interest. The US government cannot allow that to be operated by a private company who they contract with. SpaceX should be nationalized. And this was one of the things that the Democrats were going to have to figure out the next time they came into power. If Trump is already flirting with it, I mean, this is a moment of bipartisan consensus, right? It's inevitable. Like, I think SpaceX has to be privatized at some point. And if Trump were to decide to go down that road with this, I mean, good Lord.
Okay, so
Oh,
Elon just
there we go.
responded. Yeah,
Yes.
Elon
See?
just responded, "You're not wrong," to a tweet saying that he and Trump should make up. So the ketamine's wearing off. Oh, it's Bill Ackman. Great.
Yeah.
Great. They should make peace for the benefit of our great country. We are much stronger together than apart. You're not wrong. Do you think Elon means that Trump should apologize to him?
No, I think they just need a way to both back down and stop. And it doesn't have to be peace, right? They'll never trust each other again. But they were engaged in this dick measuring contest on Twitter, and they need a reason to zip back up,
Yeah.
right?
I do think you're right. Well, the de-escalation, they both have strong incentives to do it. Their phones right now, both of them, are blowing up with everybody saying, "You got to stop, you got to stop, you got to stop," to both of them. And so cooler heads might be starting to prevail. But I don't. Here's the problem. And the original blow up came from the bill. So Elon's not going to walk back his criticism of the bill, though.
No.
And how I do wonder, how do you walk back the Epstein thing?
I think you just pretend it never happened.
Yeah, no, you might be right. This is what these guys.
That's what they do, right? Just pretend it never happened. Well, it's all business. It's not personal. It's business. And the problem here is,
It's kind of
again,
pretty personal.
that Elon does appear to have some form of substance problem. And so
Like a
cool heads
substance
might
abuse
prevail,
problem.
allegedly.
Sure. According to the failing New York Times, there's a problem with ketamine.
So cooler heads might prevail now, but who knows what it'll be 85 hours from now or 42 days from now. Like, this is, again, the problem is that Elon is not a state. Like, you can't have a binding agreement with the guy who's a junkie, right? I don't want to sound judgmental. I just mean it's a practical matter.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. So we're 33 minutes in, and I haven't made the point that to me is the most important
To
about
be clear,
why.
I'm not saying that Elon Musk is a junkie. I would not say that I have no proof of that. I'm saying that as a
You're
general
just asking
matter,
questions. You're just
as
asking
a general
questions.
matter, when you are making agreements with people you meet on the street, if you were to say have a handshake deal with somebody who is a meth addict, maybe the handshake deal isn't quite reliable. That's all I'm saying.
Sure. Here's what I'm saying. For a guy who has made retribution the centerpiece of his presidency and who's been making good on that. We had to bump the George pod, the legal pod, even though there was a ton of legal news last night.
Yeah.
Where he
All
went
ton
out
of rulings, right? 9-0 rulings. Yeah.
but also like Trump trying to go after Harvard again with, just pure retaliation. The idea that Trump and Musk now have to spend their time fighting with each other, retaliating against each other, watching their backs with each other, having the quiet coalitional fights or the loud coalitional fights where nobody trusts each other, that is good. That is good for all of the people who have been in Trump's crosshairs when Trump had Elon by his side. Like, it is a way to tie them up. And I know that somebody was asking in the chat, what did that person ask? It was like, what is this distracting us from? Like, is there something bigger? I don't think so. I don't think this is actually one of those things that's meant. What do you got?
I'm
You got
sorry.
something new?
New tweet. Elon Musk replying to somebody saying, "Don't decommission the Dragon." Elon Musk tweets now, "Good advice. Okay, we won't decommission Dragon." I'm confused. Didn't he say that he was doing that immediately? Did he not do that immediately? They didn't decommission Dragon when because again, he said that he was doing it. It's like these guys, it's like you can't trust anything they say. I mean, it's a hell of a way to run a country and a $400 billion business or whatever it is. Wow.
So it does seem okay. So Elon's in walk back mode right now for
Yeah,
sure in real time. Anybody
yeah,
got eyes
literally
on
while
Truth
we're watching
Social?
this. Yeah,
What do
in
you
the
think? You
comments, hit
think
us
Trump
up.
called him?
Um,
Because Mike Johnson is so funny. First of all, Mike Johnson was like holding an infant as a shield as reporters were asking him questions, and he was like, "I
don't
keep
upset the
texting,
baby.
I keep texting Elon lots of information, and he's not responding to me." Like, never has anybody looked more lame than Mike Johnson in
Do you
this
remember the
particular
pictures from the
fight.
airplane? So there were pictures early on in this
Yeah,
bromance
no,
from the airplane where Mike Johnson was like the fourth wheel or the fifth wheel in the photo.
yeah.
It's like I forget who it
It
was. It
was
was like
RFK,
JD,
it was
Don
Vance,
Jr.,
Trump,
RFK. Yeah, all these
Elon, and Mike
like
Johnson's
Mike
head would always be, like, poking in.
from the kids' table. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so this is what I want. And before we go, by the way, if you are not a member of Bulwark Plus, do us a solid. Go and subscribe. Go over to thebulwark.com. Join. If you want to join as a free member, fine, join as a free member. But really, we're doing outstanding content. You should get up on this level. You got to get up on this level with us. Speaker Johnson, just now. I don't know what has motivated this disturbance too, but obviously it's not helpful. I've tried very hard to speak with Elon over and over, and talk with him about what I believe are misconceptions he has about this bill and what it is.
Cool, Mike Johnson. But what's great, so, okay, so this is the state of
But
play.
Elon ain't never going to make up with him, though.
No. He doesn't care about Mike Johnson. But this goes back to something I was asking before. The bill remains the rub, right? Like, Elon can walk back the pedophilia. Elon can walk back the decommissioning the dragon. He can stop saying Trump should be impeached. How does he, but like, he can't stop on the bill.
He'll just stop talking about it. He'll just stop talking about it. Right.
I don't know.
Here's what I want to know.
Not without
However,
disappearing from life. Like, somebody, unless somebody right now is going and physically taking Elon and separating him from his phone and putting him in a padded room, which could be happening.
the more interesting question to me is, how does Trump walk back? Hold on, you said it was wasteful to give all these government contracts to Elon. So why are we still doing that? You just said the easiest way to save billions of dollars from the federal government was to cancel all of these useless, worthless contracts.
Yeah.
Why didn't we do it? And of course, but you know what the answer is. Oh, that's all the art of the deal. It's just a negotiating tactic. Nothing means anything. No words. In the same way that Elon was they're decommissioning the dragon as I speak. They've got their ratchets out and they're taking. Oh no, I guess they aren't. Like, it's all just we live. There it is. Yes, yes. Oh, God bless you, Katie. That is, and Mike Johnson. What a sad, sad little man. Boy, I hope it was worth it, Mike. Um, what an amazing thing. Yeah, join us for this amazing content. I'm so glad we did this tonight, because if we had to do this in the morning with a sort of like, they probably buried the hatchet. This was so good. We got to have our Christmas morning before somebody told us that Santa wasn't real. And
I don't know. I feel like as it's gone on, we can feel the potential de-escalation coming.
yeah,
I
but
don't
here,
know though. I'm not gonna give up hope. I
well,
have
here's
really this has been giving me life, this feud. I
it's
think that,
life-giving.
listen, just because if Elon, whatever he does that is like moderately conciliatory, he has opened a Pandora's box of information. And the Democrats are doing exactly the right thing by putting pressure on Bondi. And anybody, I'm sorry, if you've never cared about, I've never cared about the Epstein Files, not for a second. I can't, Tim was like floating these conspiracy theories earlier today that I'm not going to repeat, but like lots of people have been demanding this because they care about it. Everybody who hasn't cared about it should suddenly be like, we demand to see the Epstein Files. The left should not rest until we have seen the Epstein Files. Elon is not coming back to the Democrats. I mean, is he like,
And even if
and
he
I
did, he's shown what he is. Like, you don't want somebody like that in your coalition.
right. Like and I agree, like you don't want
Talks
bad
about race
people.
science and, like, how, the really interesting Nazi historian here about how it was Winston Churchill. Like,
Let Elon have no home. Let
right.
Elon have no home. Give him no aid and comfort
Demonize
from
him.
anybody. Yeah.
Yes, use him as a figure of hate to rally people around. Don't invite him into the tent, you morons.
And I
Uh,
like big tent stuff. And I also often think that people should act with some forbearance, right? And not just let emotions drive everything on
within
these things.
limits.
But yeah, like Elon, I don't know if Steve Bannon decided to tell you that Trump was bad. Are we like, Bannon? Strange new respect.
It's
I
suddenly
don't
making
think so.
sense.
I don't think so. Let's be serious.
Okay. Couple more things because we're not done. Um, if I had to bet $5 on who made the rapprochement happen, my money's on JD Vance. How about you? Because I think
Yeah.
nobody had more to lose than Vance in this fight.
Oh, I don't think anybody had more to gain in this fight.
Really? Okay, I want to
Yes.
hear that. I'm very interested in that.
I mean, the idea that people could suddenly all his tech I mean, JD Vance is on the side of the techno fascists. Like if you opened up
Right.
JD's heart right now and said whose side if you gave him truth serum and said whose side are you on? He's on Musk's. Like he wants to
Mhm.
hang out with the tech bros and the Curtis Yarvin loving yeah, techno fascist weirdos.
Yeah, but
He's
he's
not a
chained up on a leash in Trump's house.
for 3.5 years. And I think that JD Vance has shown like a real capability for sort of stone cold nihilism and the ability to do what needs to be done in the moment. And so like I think that Vance loves the idea that he was just like chilling with Theo Vaughn while Trump and Musk had this meltdown and Musk is saying Vance should be the president while Vance is able to tell Trump, you know, it's all good. I got you. But
Do
also,
you
like,
think Trump believes that? I don't know. More importantly, do you think Don Jr. believes that? I mean, I think this is a case where Vance has to assure them that he is absolutely on their side. And the only way to do that, like if the war continues, it's like, you got to go out and kill Musk for us, euphemistically, metaphorically. I
ooh,
don't mean
well, that's a
actually,
good
right?
point. I do think the
You
idea, like, if
prove
I
your
want,
loyalty by
yeah, it's a
going out and
loyalty
knifing
test.
Musk for us, right? Which Trump always does. And Musk doesn't want to do that because, again, he thinks, well, Elon's going to be around here for a long time. I'm allied with Teal. Like, I need all of these people. This is
Oh,
why I believe that
I'm going to tweet
nobody
this
had
right now.
more incentive.
I demand JD Vance prove his loyalty to Donald Trump by criticizing Elon Musk right now.
Oh, God help us.
This is how you play wedge politics.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess. I do wonder. I mean, there were a bunch of people. And I guess, I mean, some people did commit themselves, right? Like Cat Turd committed himself on this. Uh, God help us that we have to care what an anonymous Twitter user named Cat Turd says. But like, if you committed yourself to one side of this or the other today, it is sort of a problem going forward if they have a rapprochement, right? Like, so like Musk and well, let's pretend there's a ceasefire agreement in place, and like it's not a truce, it's not a peace, but it's a cessation of hostilities indefinitely, and you've taken sides on this, like everybody's going to notice, right? And it means that one of those two sides isn't going to trust you.
Yes. People who chose
That
sides
turd,
were the
take a
people.
stand, support Trump. We see you if you don't. That's cat
Hey,
turd.
somebody in the chat just asked a question that I want to clarify because the question was like saying, Sarah, you don't care about the Epstein files. Don't you care about the girls that he molested? Sorry, caring about the Epstein files is different than caring about what Epstein
Yes.
did. I care a
Yes.
great deal about what Epstein did and wanted him to go to jail. And frankly, I have been infuriated by the fact that more people haven't gone to jail and the fact that Donald Trump has been able to skate despite his relationship with Epstein. What I mean is like the Epstein Files has become a piece of lore that I'm not even sure exists and is basically what you assume is in there is a proxy for your own political sort of boogeyman, because whoever you hate, Hillary Clinton, like they're the ones who murdered Epstein to cover up whatever the thing is. And so it is that sort of that phase. Like if somebody has a thing, so like when Elon says he's got the goods, I would like to see the goods. Yes, I would. But I have not believed for a long time that this is a real thing other than a place where sort of right-wing cranks go to, I don't know. Yeah. Do conspiracy masturbation.
Sorry, update. Cat Turd is now fighting with Alex Jones over Musk and saying to him, fuck you, sellout. So this is another thing. Like, even if,
guys, this is good.
Even if the two principals have like decided that they're gonna pretend to have made up, like a lot of the foot soldiers won't, right? I mean, this is what mafia wars look like, right? You know, the two dons of the families might make a peace, but you know, there are a bunch of button men out there on the streets who are still fighting. Can I make a confession to you about the Epstein stuff? I don't think I've ever told you this.
Okay, you're stressing me out.
No. I am anti-conspiracy theory in general.
Yes.
The Epstein story is one of the very few stories where I don't believe any particular conspiracy theory about it. I don't believe any of them. But it's the one thing where I believe that it's possible that one of the conspiracy theories about it turns out to be right, because the normal explanation for it seems so batshit implausible that I just think to myself, okay, so maybe the Occam's razor thing is the truth. But on the other hand, like if 50 years from now there's document dump and it turned out that it was aliens, like Epstein was actually an alien from Area 51 or something, like, yeah, okay, that scans. Like, it doesn't shock me, you know? And like, pick the conspiracy theory. I don't care whose theory it is. If it turned out that that was true and we got the proof of it, I'd be like, yeah, okay, I could see it.
So I guess my thought was, when it comes to Epstein, I've always had, I'm similar where I don't know I don't believe in the broad range of conspiracies. It's more that he knew so much about so many powerful people that could ruin him, that the number of people who could have been responsible for ensuring that he died in prison is a lot of people. And so my point is that like everybody just uses it to like finger their preferred bad guy on it. And I'm like, I don't know, guys, it really could have been so many people. This guy was the most disgusting, surrounded himself with other disgusting people. They all went and did super disgusting, horrible things together. You know, and as it was finally coming to light, there were a lot of people who wanted Epstein to not testify and name names in order to say himself. So like, either he knew people were going to now I'm talking about the stupid Epstein thing, which like
while you're doing that, Sean Hannity is begging for Trump and Elon to make up. You do know that the legacy media mob desperately wants to tear you guys apart and for you to fight and get a divorce.
Fact check. There is no world in which I am not desperately wanting them to maintain this fight so that we can watch them tear each other to shreds over a long period of time. Them destroying each other is infinitely better than them destroying democracy, which is what they were doing when they were aligned.
Why is it that neither of them have accused the other of anything that's untrue? Active users, Elon does ketamine, Trump on Epstein's list. Oh, Katie, that's very funny. Elon has retweeted it. See, we're already through the fourth wall. We are now in the postmodern, ha ha ha, yes, it was all a work to get our engagement numbers up. See, we can all put this to bed now. Why is it that they haven't accused each other of untrue things yet?
I mean, because the true things are so awful. Who needs to make things up when they've got that?
I guess But it's funny because their move is to accuse their enemies of untrue things, but on this they just stuck to the true stuff. Seems odd to me.
Yeah. I hope they burn each other to the ground because these are two awful, awful people. And this is why the left, I understand why people think it's like four-dimensional chess to like do outreach to Elon. And I suppose you could talk me into like a very specific case where like a person could do outreach to Elon to preserve, I don't know, to figure out the space thing. I don't know. But like you cannot tell me that the Democratic Party should be like, come here, buddy. Come here. Let me did the orange man hurt you? We're here for you now. Not that guy. Not that guy.
Your heart goes out to them. Okay. Sarah, I think we should probably bring this to a close. I am going to be sending out an emergency triad in like probably 45 minutes about this. You only get it if you're a member of the Bulwark. If you're with us, go sign up for it. It's going to be hot fire. All the stuff that I couldn't actually say on the live stream is going to be in that. Sorry.
Never miss a JVL triad. I never miss it.
Okay, don't troll me
I'm
like
telling you,
that.
you'll love it. You'll get it every day and you'll read it every day.
Some people, many people with tears in their eyes read it every day, but especially the emergency ones. When I write late at night,
Punchy
that's when the wheels
JVL
come
is
off.
punchy.
Punchy late night JVL, especially today. And this is, I don't know if you guys know this, but I spent today in the hospital with my youngest kid, G Money, for a long planned minor surgery, and like everything's fine and whatnot. But you know, like I was in the hospital for 8 hours with no news. And it was funny to me that this is the day that we had all of the news.
Sonny walked out of like a movie. We was watching the new Wes Anderson and he was like, you go into a movie theater for 2.5 hours and you come out and the whole world's exploded.
Like all of a sudden Leon Trotsky has been like, smuggled out of the country to where did he run away to? Argentina.
I don't know where Trotsky went.
And yeah, I think Trotsky went to Argentina. Maybe it was Brazil. I don't know. Somewhere in South America because he'd been unpersoned by Stalin. And there we are. Except that maybe if those guys had Twitter, they could have worked it out.
Maybe.
All right, guys, thank you for joining us. This was a lot of fun. We all got our yayas out while we still could. I'm glad we did it tonight. Let this be a lesson to us that you got to gather ye rosebuds while you may. Don't
Old
ever
Twitter
put
is
anything
still
off.
a-flying.
Don't ever put things off. If you see something amazing that brings you joy, you just strip down and dive into it right then and there. Don't say, "Oh, I'll come back to it in the morning," because it might be gone. I think we just touched something very deep there. Best friend, I will see you tomorrow. Everybody else, we'll catch you next. Hit subscribe, hit like, follow the channel, help us out, and go to thebulwark.com. Sign up. I got hot fire coming to your inbox 45 minutes from now. See you, friends.
Bye, guys.